I was in Tokyo last year, and Tokyo is a mega city, it's like a metropolitan with millions of people. And in the city center, there are a lot of buildings. But when you go a little bit further to the countryside, it's not really countryside, but when you are there, you are seeing small hectares of potato, of tomato, of,
wow, cool.
I don't know, different kind of vegetables.
Nice.
Like salad, like lettuce, and this kind of stuff. So they're growing there. These mega metropolitan city, but still urban farming is a very good concept there. It's not only because they are producing food. There is a lot of pressure in agriculture, and there is a lot of pressure to produce on farmers. So what if we can a little bit decrease this stress and reduce this stress that we produce it in our own garden? I have a friend, he doesn't buy really a lot of vegetables because he produces them on his field, a small garden. So this is the point that maybe it can also be helpful not only for food production, but also to cool down the cities, to bring more water into cities and to make it more stable in terms of, hey, I'm not only producing this kilogram of potato, but this potato plant, this is what also you mentioned today about evaporation, keeping it cool and make it cool, that it at least can decrease the heat waves in the cities to make it more tolerable in hot summers.
Yeah, because cities naturally are heat islands. They're much warmer than the surrounding farms. You can sometimes grow a palm tree in the city if it would die in the country because of all the stony area, of all the paved areas. And for that, I mentioned it in my keynote about the city of Medellin, where they just cool down the city with 2 degrees Celsius by just having this evaporation. And it's lovely that you mentioned your friend that grows their own vegetables. I truly believe that that's a part of the future. A lot of people are depressed, are anxious, have a chronic disease, and all these things can be solved by putting your hands in the soil. You have soil bacteria that literally make you happier. If you eat good food, it will heal your gut, and your gut produces 90% of your serotonin. So that connection, making it's super logical to do, but a lot of people think we should bring farms to the city and put them on roofs. And while I really think it's a cool idea, it's super expensive, and it's not economically realistic to do this if there is a business model behind it. But if you do it as yourself, as even a kind of therapy, then you can grow so much food on only 1 square meter. Try it out, only 1 square meter, and that's like normal vegetables. But other cities, and I don't know if you've ever been to Andernach in Germany? It's like 1 hour of Bonn and Köln, Cologne. And there they first tried to have vegetables in the normal city, like regular plants, but they saw it's too much work. And then they said, okay, but let's plant a food forest instead. So all their city greenery is actually replaced by edible plants, which would have been there anyway, but they would be like regular plants that would not be edible. But now they're like all edible. So people can walk by, they can pick fruits, they can even pick pawpaws or pomegranates. They're even having hop to make beer and grapes to make wine. So it's like, for me, it's paradise. If I think about Garden of Eden in a city, then that's the way to go. And I would love to see this like in all the cities across the world. Would you agree with that? Or
yeah, I mean, this is something that many people really promote at the moment. So there are also, this is also the concept of tiny forest. So you plant on a very small piece of land within the city, a small forest with different trees. So it attracts a lot of birds to come, and it attracts also a lot of insects. So there are insects in agriculture that we call biological agents. So they are the good guys. The good guys, and they are eating the bad guys. So with planting more green in the city, you are attracting these good guys to come, and because they are providing habitat to them, and they are staying there. And if a bad guy wants to attack your vegetable, then these good guys will jump on it and will eat it. So, and I must also say, I think in our genetics, we are still collectors and hunters. We do not want to hunt a lot because there is no wildlife anymore, but still collectors.
Yeah.
I have a walnut in my garden and also a plum tree. Nice. And a walnut tree and a plum tree. And whenever I want to collect, I really thank nature for giving me this amount of walnuts that I cannot really consume. I give to my neighbors some kilograms of walnut, but the walnut tree is around 70, 75 years old, and the plum tree as well. I never buy walnut. Yeah. Just one tree provide around, let's say, 8-9 people over winter. Yeah. And this is just amazing, and I'm very thankful, and I really appreciate nature for giving us these fruits, vegetables that we can collect and we can spiritually really enjoy. We were still, as I said, collectors, so by collecting, you are also touching the vegetable and also the fruits, and this is something like that you can really de-stress and decrease the amount of stress. There are a lot of people, when they are stressed, they flee to garden and do gardening. Yeah. So this is something that I really motivate people to do.
That's so true. And a lot of people nowadays are investing in crypto and Bitcoin and whatever, but if you plant just one tree, like the walnut tree, it costs you about 25, 50 euros. I don't know how much low this is, but it's not that much. You just plant it, it takes 10 minutes, and you will have like walnuts for the rest of your lives, your children, your grandchildren, your grandchildren. There is no better investment than that. And that's investment in food, but like you say, also in health. And we like co-evolve with nature for the last millions of years. And so we co-evolve with bacteria, with fungi, and these are the ones that are making us healthy and happy. And we are nature. We have more non-human cells than human cells. So being more like hunter-gatherer, like you say, I think that's the way to go forward, to make our cities into maybe not hunter paradises, but at least gatherer paradises, because it also brings peace into the city. Like in a lot of cities, there are a lot of cultures living together, and sometimes these cultures don't get along with each other. But I've seen experiments where they, for example, had apple trees in the street. They came together with all these different cultures, and they baked apple cake with it together. And they shared recipes. It's like, oh, my grandmother did it this way. My grandmother did it this way. And so it's like also a way to bonding cultures with each other and create world peace.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have still time.
No, I was just wondering if we can take a question from the audience, if somebody has a question. Otherwise, I'm sure I have one. I'm looking around. Well, that's the problem with sitting in a corner. You know, you don't have a microphone. So please, press the button.
Yes, I have a small question regarding soil for urban farming. Do you prefer to bring this soil from the countryside or to produce by yourself using composting your garbage?
So, a very good question. Again, the example of the city of Ulm. 2 years ago, we started conversation with them in terms of soil improvement in the city. And the mayor didn't really take us seriously, but the word biochar that we left behind us in a conversation, they were thinking about it. And after a couple of weeks, they asked us for more studies on the impact of biochars for soil improvement in a city. We sent them some studies on this, and then the mayor, they wanted to plant cities in front of the rail station. And they mixed the soil, so they had some farmers, so they could get some soil from their farmers, just a normal soil, and they prepare it with compost and also a little bit of biochar. And a couple of weeks ago, I met the mayor again for another conversation, and he said, your idea about biochar is amazing. These trees that we planted with biochar, soil, and compost, they are growing amazingly and they are going crazy.
Congrats.
This is only because the trees, so they have a kind of container in the ground, the space, and everything around is concrete. And you do not have to buy the soil really, so you can all prepare it with compost. If you have cow shit or cow manure, you can prepare it, compost it, and also add biochar to it. And then you will see the impact. You will see how your vegetables are growing in terms of weight and also size, and also the trees in terms of shade. So this is really investing money in terms of if you want your trees survive, because I had a conversation with a colleague, he said, for 1 hectare, we have to plant 1,000 trees, 300 can survive. But if you can increase the survival rate of these trees by improving soil, making soil better, so that the tree can grow in the soil is the heart of a tree. And if you can grow in this soil, it means you have a strong root. And I really appreciate the roots are then so there is a Chinese expression, when the roots are deep, there is no reason to fear the wind. So if you have strong roots, then there is no reason to fear whatever is coming for you. So you can really grow strong. It's also for vegetables. If the soil is really healthy, I get a lot of nutrients from the soil, and soil is pumping my immune system. I'm not scared of the Colorado beetle or this insect or this disease or that disease. So this is very important. But yes, you do not have to bring your soil. You can prepare it, make it a little bit better for trees and also for vegetables to grow.
Yeah, maybe one note that's pretty important: before you grow vegetables in the city, check if there's no pollution of heavy metals or forever chemicals like PFAS, because you don't want to eat those.
Okay. Well, I would sit here and listen for hours, honestly, because this is the best moderating job I've ever had. So what I want to say is that sadly the time is up, and so we have to move to the next conversation. But Azadeh, Louis, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
And
Thanks.
guys, you'll find them in the networking later, and with some drinks probably, or not, I don't know, but you can ask them different stuff. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.